Hello out there, you wonderful people. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy. Thank you once again for lending me your time and your ear and listening into the very first episode of FLaG, which is short for Family Life and Gaming. Yeah, I know I double titled it, so sue me. It's just going to be what it is. Um, in this series, I'm planning to use a lot less profane language, meaning hopefully not at all, but there may be a slip up or two. I'm only human. I'm just gonna put that out there. It might happen. I'm going to try to avoid it, but it might happen. So basically, the purpose of this series, and this right now is just me explaining what I plan to do with this series. And that's to talk about issues that I look at outside of gaming, dealing with things that I feel affect my family, my life, and possibly related to gaming as it appears to me. Um, because I've learned a lot of things through playing video games over the years. I've learned a lot through video games, like, and that's not to say that I didn't pay attention in school or anything. Because when I was in school, I was a A student, but I learned a lot of things from video games that I would not have otherwise learned regularly. I just wouldn't have had to. I wouldn't have been in the situation to learn those things if it wasn't for video games. So basically, the whole concept of family life and gaming is just me basically talking about things that they may be out of my normal scope of things to consider and speak about. Um, but for the most part, I'm just going to try to talk about if it's something that I feel is important enough to talk about and I can relate it to my own life experiences and things, then I'm going to do it. Is That's basically the purpose of this, is just a fresh thing away from being specifically about gaming, but it will still incorporate gaming in some way. Um, Phew. Now I'm at a loss of words because I think I just ran through the explanation way too fast. Um, and this is early Sunday morning because I'm up. I said I I've been trying to get this done anyway because I just couldn't decide whether or not I was going to do it as a live stream or if I was going to just do a video and put it out. Um, and I think I might go with live stream format for this just because I can do it and get simultaneous feedback. But I'm going to learn from this first one and not do it this early in the morning. Because I mean, there will be some people up, but if if I'm planning to try to make this one more interactive, I'm going to have to wait until there are more people awake to actually, you know, communicate back and forth with. I mean, in duos here, I know he's in the comments and he heard what I said and laughed at me, but I really, it's just really, I think the perspective I have on just general life in general is I could probably be more useful overall to people in general with just given my own perspective and using the wisdom that I've been given throughout life and the intelligence that I have. I could probably do far better for people than just coming up with video game ideas and trying to entertain people's thought processes. Maybe I can come to a head on an issue and people can help me figure see, you're not just chopped liver, buddy, but I'm just saying more people would be available if it was at a later time to listen in and be able to give feedback back and forth. But it's just and I've had talks with people off air and talked about issues and things outside of gaming, and I just think from having those conversations with other people I do podcasts with, I can possibly put down some coherent thoughts and maybe not be so hasty in my reactions to certain things and speak about them. Like heck, I might as well just go ahead and get it out of the way. Trump care, which is something that really, really concerns me, like deeply concerns me, and that bugs me so badly because of many of the things I've read about the bill, and like pre-existing conditions are going to be opt out. The states will be able to opt out of protections for pre-existing conditions, and I'm not usually big on politics. I really am not big on politics. I kind of hate the subject of politics because I feel like most of the people that spend their time in politics are spending most of their time just talking and not actually doing anything. And the few people that do actually do something are met with heavy resistance because the people that just spend their time talking about what they're going to do are being paid off by big corporations and being kept in their back pocket. So I kind of despise the subject of politics. But when it comes down to something like Trump Care, which is literally one of the worst healthcare plans I've ever heard about from the government, and I look at him like, you're going to kill protections for pre-existing conditions. So a person that's like my daughter, my eldest daughter, Leah, who is soon to be 10, who has type 1 diabetes, once she's out on her own and she gets her own insurance, she could possibly be denied coverage for the supplies that she needs. And diabetic supplies are costly. They cost a lot of money. So at that point, she can either struggle with medical bills and still be cooped up under my roof when she's older, or try to get out on her own and face the possibility of dying because she's not going to be able to afford health care. I mean, she could have the insurance, but they wouldn't pay for it, so she wouldn't really be able to afford it. So it would be it'd be basically throwing money down into a black hole. Like that's just an example of what could happen. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but that's something that does concern me because this again, that's my child. I look at that. I don't care if say I have asthma. I don't care if my pre-existing condition gets ignored. I know how to deal with it. But diabetes, there's no dealing with that, especially type 1 because it's genetic. It's something that's built into you. Like, and once that gene is activated, there is no way to stop it. I mean, there are measures being worked on, but money's being siphoned from those type of things that could be helpful to a lot of people. And I look at them like these people are just trying to kill as many people as possible. And my child is a part of that group of people that could possibly die from this this horribly bad management of funding, like taking money from people who work and are working hard and can barely afford to live as it is. You're going to take even more money from them and give it to people who already have more than enough money to get whatever they need or want. And I personally feel like that's disgraceful. But that's just one issue I could talk about. Like there are many other issues that plague my mind sometimes, and it's just like I had no outlet for those things that I could really use. And this I think would be a good way to move forward is just to have this and talk about those issues that I see fit. Because I look at Trump Care as like the worst video game. Like Trump Care is like a virus. If Trump Care was in video games, I would equate it to the T virus from Resident Evil, but it doesn't. immediately, it doesn't turn you into zombies. It just immediately kills you because you can't protect yourself against it. You either have to try to run and escape it or be killed by it. That's how I look at what Trump care is right this moment. I mean, that might sound extreme, but those are the possible extremes that we're dealing with. I look. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, but I wanted to do it my own way. And I did. I was thinking me ranting all the time was probably not a good idea because then I'd get too comfortable with it. So I'm like, I'm going to try not to do that so much. Um, but really, I just putting things in perspective. I just want to see better for the world, and I want to see better for the people around me, especially since my children have to grow up in this world, and it's going to be harder for them eventually than it is for me. And that's the thing that makes me really sad and concerned. Like where we should be on the cusp of so many better technologies and things that can make living on this planet super easy. And we have people in government that are blocking those opportunities because some rich guy said, hey, if I give you this money right now, you're going to vote the way I want you to. And that's ridiculous. Like, again, equating this, bringing this into video games is just the man in the shadows in the background. The one that you know's there, but you can't do anything about. Uh, but this is a bit therapeutic. I feel like I just had a therapy session and I just talked to myself. But I talk to myself so other people can hear me. Um, uh, I don't really have much else I want to talk about really during this episode because I want to save things and basically if something comes up, I'll talk about it. I'm probably going to save this for Sundays. I'll probably do it as like a mid-afternoon thing instead of early morning, but that's where I'm going to go with this. I think I'm going to do this like on maybe not every Sunday, but it will be Sundays that I do this particular thing. Um, I think that's it for now. Uh, Thank you, Liger, for listening to me ramble on. You're a good friend, man. Thank you. And thank you anybody else who listens to this afterwards and give your perspectives and talk and say whatever you feel like. I mean, I'm open to discussion about things. So I've always been open to discussion about things. I might not agree with everybody, and I might turn into a major prick to a lot of people, but I I try to at least be open to talking. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for listening. Keep your eyes and ears up for more stuff from me. And until the next time, please just enjoy your life. Peace out.